The RPA Today Show, hosted by Howze and Wilton Rogers. The show that brings you the latest insights on RPA, robotic process automation, and how it's impacting every industry, as well as interviews with companies that are currently winning big with this technology. You'll also hear from other industry leaders and experts who will be sharing some of their success secrets to help you become more productive and to grow your business. The show is brought to you by Simply Automate, where we help you get more done in less time and more ease for your mind with strategic business automation. Learn more at www.simplyautomateinc.com, and please follow us on LinkedIn. If anything in this show resonates with you, please let us know by leaving a review. The RPA Today Show, where you just might learn something you didn't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the RPA Show, the show where you just might learn something you didn't know. I'm your host, Rob Howze. My co-host, Wilton Rogers, the automation guys over there on the other side of the screen, other side of the world, but in the same place. How about that, man? How about technology giving us that capability? You know, to be anywhere, anytime, but at the same place at the same time. Come on, somebody.
The next thing is that what's that morphing? The next one is just going from, you're in LA and New York. You just go to this little, like this, like a Star Trek, right?
Teleport.
You're there. They had to teleport. So that's what's next.
It's coming, man. But before we get there, we're here. And here is where we talk about technology in a way to where it has not been discussed before. Technology, RPA specifically, a software technology that has just revolutionized the entire world, essentially in regards to business and operations, operational efficiency. I mean, anytime you get 4 hours of work done in 10 minutes, dude, we need to just stop right there. That's a show in itself, the entire show, because that is miraculous. Because if you think about what happens when you start doing what we call saving time, that time gets reallocated to more important things. That's what we want to focus on. That's kind of how businesses stay in business, when they can focus on the important. Man, and you've been in this game for a minute. A minute meaning like 2017, especially in an industry that people still don't know about. Don't know what it is. And you were in 2017.
Yeah. Dude. It's crazy. And what you talked about is the reason why I got involved with it. It's like, I used to own a lot of businesses in my past, and I used to work with a lot of corporations. And I'm like, man, it's just, if I had more time to do this, if I had more time to do that, I'm over here, trying to, or if I'm in sales, I got to go in there and knock out all my paperwork on sales, right? Or if I'm in running a business, I got to take care of all my employees, and my employees got to take care of all this paperwork, and they got to take care of all all this. And if there was a way, like, oh man, if there was a way that I could have all my employees just be able to do what we hire them for, and they love, that would be a game changer. And when you're young, you think about that, everything was like a reality. And then one day I just ran into RPA. I was like, oh my goodness, is this true?
Right.
Is this the tool that can probably do that? And I fell into it because I was offered opportunity to apply for a position for VP of sales for an RPA company. And when I got the job, when I learned about it, I was like, whoa, if I get it, I'm going to take it, right? So I took it, moved to Houston. I got it, moved to Houston, and just learned all about it, man. Just really learned about it. And when you learn about it, you just kind of figure out, okay, how can this help this business? How would it help me?
Yep.
And so it just took off from there.
It's so interesting, because what we're talking about, this RPA, this robotic process automation, this business process automation, this digital employee, my favorite term. When you bring a digital employee into your operations, like what it essentially does is whatever a human would have to do repetitively, but just better, faster with no mistakes. So when you first got an idea about this technology, you were thinking, because already being a previous business owner, you already know what the benefit would be having digital employees, alongside your team. And so you did. So you dove in, started working for a company, more so in the big, in the enterprise industry, because that's essentially the only place it was ever at.
That was it.
Years ago,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And, I think just being able to see it I had no tech background. I didn't know what, I couldn't build a thing. I understood it. I know how to use software, but that's it. I don't understand code, nothing, right? So see it from the sales and marketing end, seeing how I can sell it, how I can present it to people, how I can, visually see how it works so I can map it out real easy. There was a lot of things you had to really understand in order to take full advantage of it. The development end, when I started working with developers and worked on projects, and they got what they needed, they knock it out quick. And I was seeing these projects take like 6 months to do. I was like, what's taking them so long? And then when you look at it, it had nothing to do with development. It had everything to do with the people that didn't understand. Like if they got everything they need, boom, 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 tested, here it goes. I was like, whoa. And I found out with a company that we had worked with a while back. And I saw how dedicated that company was to getting it done. And then developers, they were getting them what they needed. And I was doing contract work here. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
What were they doing differently?
What's that?
What were they doing differently?
The communication, it was the company communicating with the developers. Like developers say, okay, this is what we need. Boom, 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 boom. Give them all this thing that they needed. In order to get it, we need all this, just information, and access. And then they had an open communication line where if we need things, the faster you get it to, the faster we'll build it, because we build it in real time. So these guys were like sending them things, hey, what about this spreadsheet? What about this Excel? And they come back and they were just talking in real time. And you saw how fast they were telling them. It felt like they were building it just that fast. It felt that way. May not, of course it wasn't, but it was still pretty darn fast. But when I saw the communication between the two, I was like, whoa, this thing can move fast. And that's where I was like, okay, that's what I need to do. And working in the enterprise world, you just don't get it. It's like, oh man, it's so frustrating. Everybody thinks they know everything. You have to wait for people. People don't think it's important to them. The one person does think it's important to them, but it can't get to the next person because they got to sign off on it. But right now, they already have two things going on. Plus, they have a cold, and their wife is mad at them because they got drunk last night. So now you're in the bottom of the pile, right? So that's how it sort of ended up in that. I was like, dude, if you can get this down to small and medium-sized businesses, a small and medium enterprise that have that focus and growth opportunity, they're going to take full advantage of this. Yeah. And no one was tapping into that market. No one.
Right.
But no one. Go ahead.
So not only, okay, keep going.
No, go ahead.
So bringing it from the enterprise to the small and medium-sized market, that's in your mind, but also how to overcome the communication breakage, right? So
yeah,
so starting the company, that's what you had in mind. How to make the communication better, then also how to bring it to the small and medium-sized people.
Absolutely. When I look at these developers in the enterprise world, these guys can build anything. One guy, he's certified automation anywhere, but we did a project on UiPath and Work Fusion because, just like I could do, they can cross over. To them, it was easy, So, I see all these companies, oh no, we got to hire a specific developer using this specific software. Oh, you're going to put yourself in a corner doing that. So I realized on the development end, it was already that's already done. They can develop on any process, on anything. That wasn't a thing. It was a communication. It was an understanding. It was a knowledge and education that everybody needs to know on this part, right? Even the enterprise, they still don't know. You have a lot of executive leaders what RPA is. They still don't know what it is. but they spend millions of dollars automating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of labor work, right? So they know it works. That's all they know, but they don't know it. Small businesses, medium-sized businesses, small, medium-sized enterprise, they have to learn that. Because small, medium-sized enterprise, what they're doing now is that they want to build their own team so they can do it themselves. But these guys are the same problems, hiring people that have no experience. They're starting with, just trying to figure it out. It's like, dude, you're starting from a blank canvas when it's already, the picture's already built. There's already, it's already out there. Something need to be out there. And so we saw the enterprise being in that area, but the small businesses that don't have these IT structures, and they're just like, hey, all they have is a bunch of software, a bunch of processes, a bunch of people doing it. How to automate it.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So trying to figure out the communication between it all was like, it's thousands of conversations, years and years of it, right? So now we've been able to compartment all that and put it together in a nice little easy platform. So, we start knocking things out and showing people what RPA can really do. So it's still a grind because you still have, but it's getting easier. More people are paying more attention to it. And once they see it happen, they know, what happens from there.
Yeah. The moment you see the benefit, it's like the moment someone sees, gets an understanding of how this RPA digital employee works, the moment the light bulb comes on and so much light is there. I'm talking about like multiple light bulbs come on because essentially, your process, like you know what your process is. And so it's not about, trying to understand the technology. It's more so understand what you're doing. And then when you got a good team when you have a good technology team you're partnering with, they can just show you now how to make what you're doing just a little bit better. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. What are, okay, it's 2017, 18, 19, 20. Nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to say it. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to say it. And think about it. 2020, it's a vision. We got a whole new vision after 2020. Okay. And so now 2021 comes along. 2022, now we're here. What would you say has been, what more people and more businesses are becoming more aware of this? What would you say happened differently after 2020 in regards to the industry itself? What have you noticed?
Well, a couple of things. Well, the software industry, the automation software industry itself, it blew up. It blew up. The people that understand the next level of automation like RPA and started investing in 2020, they came out smooth. It didn't matter if you were a retail store. They just knew how to change that over and focus on attracting the masses and their attention with the ability of automation and new technology, right?
Yep.
They just didn't have brick and mortar, but they still sold more online, or they still sold more, through other means. But all that had a process that had to happen. And within that process, automation happened. Right? They still didn't have to do anything. The whole time was them focusing totally on the growth of the company, what they needed to do. Oh, we need to add this. Okay, we'll add that software and then add some RPA to that. So now it could be over here. That was it. So it was,
Yeah.
And they figured it out. But less than 1% of the people, everyone that we talk to knows nothing about RPA. And the ones that know RPA don't really know RPA.
They don't really know, right?
They really don't know. They know they may have worked on some projects or they may have worked on software, but it's very limited for what their vision is and what they want to do, right? So that's a little hazy on that end. But automation. Another thing that happened in 2020, now in 2022, we've seen a lot of people coming out, automation experts, right? So the word automation is it's totally diluted, right? So people don't know what it means anymore. Just like AI, no one knows what AI means, really. It's like, well, does it talk to me? Does it,
Allen Iverson?
Yeah, right. Exactly, right. But I definitely think that people are easier. The two things are happening. People are paying more attention to RPA because they see the next level automation, and the second part is that people that are making mistakes and costing them and their companies time and money can easily flip that around because of automation. And stop going down the deep hole. They can stop it and say, whoa, how can I automate my way out of this? Right? And they're doing it.
Wow. How can I automate my way out of this? I bet you a lot of people wish they could have that solution for problems. How can I automate my way out of this situation? Well, you can. Ladies and gentlemen, the 21st century is a blessing. I'm telling you, to be alive right now, our ancestors are like, are you serious? You better not complain about nothing.
Right.
So automate my problems away. Literally what we're talking about. We're talking about taking the robot out of the human, taking the stress away from the human worker. We're talking about optimizing the entire process for that business. We're talking about heightening compliance, bettering the customer relations, the employee relations. We're talking about bottom lines going to the top line. And this is all through strategic automation, and it's all available, and it's all cost effective. If you didn't get that, just rewind it and then take some type of action with it. That's the other part. That's the thing that I'm noticing we're getting a lot more attention. People are running to take a look, but then it's almost like they stop and pause and get paralysis analysis.
Oh, yeah.
That's not
a lot. It's not. And we see what's funny, a lot of them that walked away earlier are clients now, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's normal. It's really normal. But what you have to, it's normal because, like I said, automation is flooded. Technology is flooded out there. People don't really know what is what anymore, right? But what is best, I should say. And with RPA, once they understand, it's like, whoa, it doesn't matter what's best. What's working right now? Let's just automate what you're doing right now. And then you can focus on what's best for your company. Right? And that's the way that now businesses now need to look at running their company. It's like, okay, let's slow the roll. What can we automate? Let's just figure it out. How do you figure it out? Get someone that knows how to find those little points for you so you can figure out, and we can start documenting. That takes a conversation like this, 30-minute conversation like this, to get enough information to say, okay, we can automate the heck out of that. That's going to save you 10 hours a week? Done. We'll get that done in a month. And it's important that businesses need to find, be built that way. So people that are going through those struggles with technology and trying to figure it out, that they can run into a company like ours and say, hey, you know what? Before I go any further, I want you to help me automate what I currently have so I can focus on, where I need to fix my stuff. Right? And we're building that. And now we're having people that are interested in seeing what we're doing to be part of what we're doing. So, and we've been blessed to be connected with a lot of people in the industry, work with a lot of people in the industry over the last 5-6 years on different projects, even for the one-off here, and now they're a partner, and now they're just a contact that helps us do invoices. So we had an invoice that we were trying to figure out how to do this process for. It's a little different. And he had worked with the same software, so we asked him, send him an email. Our guy connected with him, gave him some information what to do. He figured it out. Boom, it was done. That would have never happened. We would never fix it within a day if I wouldn't have that connection by working with the project I worked with him about 2 years ago. Right. And now he's communication with our team, and our communication with him is like, okay, let's see how we can work together.
Right.
And now when things get going and coming are good, you know, he wants to be part of our family. So that's what we're attracting. We're attracting people that's been in this industry for a long time and see what we're doing, and when they see a good thing happening that now they can be a bigger part of and be bigger part of building. Mm-hmm. And we're just being in this industry. We're getting people in this industry that are loving what we're doing.
That's wonderful, man. I'm glad I stumbled upon it myself. You know, I was 2019, you know, and we crossed paths. I was like, huh. And the moment you shared that, first of all, nothing blows my mind. Because what I think about is way beyond, you know, what humans typically do. Yeah. Crazy like that. This paused my mind because the moment I had the idea, I started to think about what it could do. So I'm big in philanthropy, and I started thinking about all the nonprofits. If we had digital employees, how much more food can we get out? How many more houses can we build? How many more resources can we get to people? I started thinking like, whoa. And then you started expressing and showing all the different business operational opportunities and how that's a direct benefit to the people who run the business and the families that they have. So it's like, wow, this can be so dynamic. So I'm super excited, man, about where we're going, what's happening, and like what's possible. You know, what's possible. I have a note in here. You said the sales industry, 70% of what B2B sellers do today can be automated. Did I read that right? Did you say that in the sales industry, 70% of what B2B sellers do today can be automated?
100%. 100%. And if you read this book, it's by Justin Michaels and Tony Hughes.
Tech Power Sales.
There you go. Thank you. Tech Power Sales, right? And they back it up in there. But I've been in sales for 30 years. You know, when you own a business or you run a business or you're always in sales. But I've actually run sales departments and everything. And I'm thinking, you know, I love doing the sales, but I hate doing the paperwork. Love doing the sales. I love being in front of people, showing what we could possibly do, help them out in every way we possibly can. And then I hate the paperwork. Mm-hmm. No matter what we did, doesn't matter what you did. You know, if I was working on the house, you know, and I know that these people needed a handicap area and all this, and they had to build all this stuff, extra things into the contract. It was just time consuming, like, and you had to get approval, you had to do all this, you had to wait for. I remember all those things, right? And I was like, if I could just sell and not do this, I will be a trillionaire. Right? And I want to say $1 trillion, you know, right? A trillion lives, right? But it was all that paperwork that took up all the time. And I realized anything that I did in sales, it was always paperwork. Because you had to document everything that you sold. And you had to and there's a lot of stuff, and you're responsible for everything. Once I realized, like, wait a minute, if I have that contract and I said I haven't signed it on there, and then I send that straight to the CRM, and then I send the CRM straight to the QuickBooks, and then the CRM, and then to this, and I said, that's all automated. I said, that's 70-80% of sales right there. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep.
And all I got to do is activate it, is put the information in there one time and send it out. And from that point on, I'm done.
Note that sales industry professionals and leaders, note that there's so many things you have to do, but those things don't necessarily have to be done by you. What you need to do, it shouldn't be, right? You should be talking to people.
That's it. That's what we got into. That's why sales gets into sales, because they want to be in front of, they want to talk to people. Mm-hmm. They believe in what they're selling, and they want to show people that it's worth buying.
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity to be in front of 70% more, you know, and take away all that paperwork off the back end, That's a salesperson's dream.
You might make 70% more.
But the problem is, yeah, for sure. But the problem is that the ones that have these sales teams or that have, the knowledge to do it aren't spending the time to really figure out how to make it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have egos. Like, I got this. I already have everything automated. We don't need anything, man. I got this new software doing this for me, doing that for me. I'm like, dude, I was you 20 years ago. He's like, no, you don't, dude. Listen to me. I know I'm old, but listen to me, dude. You think you're younger than me for when it comes to technology, but trust me, I'm going through it. So, that part is hard. But once they get past it, like, oh my goodness, and it's happening. It's happening. They're starting to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, listen, the time to figure it out, ladies and gentlemen, is now. If you have a business, you own a business, you're a part of a business, you're a director in a business, you run processes, or any of the things above or sound like that, you need to be educating yourself. Right above me, if you're watching, it says educate so you can automate. Right into the, what is this? Well, it looks like the right of me, but I don't know when you're looking at the screen which side is which. Well, on one side of on one shoulder, we have this wonderful award that our company won. The top robotic process automation service company of 2022, top 10, ladies and gentlemen. The applause, the confetti's falling from the sky. But the real excitement comes from why we got that. You only get accolades like that from work that gets done, right? You're only going to get an accolade of this nature, top robotic process automation service company of 2022, if you're serving people at a high level. So one thing you can be for sure is that you're going to get the insight, the education that you need, right? And you're with people who are going to guide you in the right direction. It's talking about Simply Automate, that is. And talking about RPA news, that's the news of the day. Wilton and I were sitting there having a conversation about his journey from 2017 until today. We know the tremendous benefits of having a digital employee in your organization. And now you have the resources to come and talk to about it. Any final words, man?
I do have a final word. It's amazing what technology and automation can do to help you build a company. To truly build a company. We have employees all over the world that we have not even met. You and I have been knowing each other for about 4 or 5 years, working together for 3 years already, over 3 years. I can't even keep up anymore. And we finally get to meet here in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Our families get to meet.
It's wild.
That's wild when technology has advanced that far. There's no way you and I be working together 10, 15, 20 years ago. I wouldn't,
Yep.
I would never met you if it wasn't technology.
No. Proximity change.
And then we were able to help build and create something that we have now, a culture of what our conversations were. Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Pretty damn amazing. Thank you, technology.
It's only the beginning. Not trying to be cliches, but it's only the beginning. It really is.
What we've created in 3 years would have taken decades 10 years ago.
Oh, more
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, and the momentum is only getting faster. So that's my final word.
That's good, man. That's a word. That's a word. We are here. We are here in this part of the 21st century where you have access to technology that can change the game. It's RPA. This is the RPA Show. RPA News with myself and the automation guy. Until next time, listen, remember, educate so you can automate. Educate so you can automate. We'll close with that.